World War III has begun. Don't believe those nonsense. But in this video I'm gonna share you like some of my mindset and tips that help me get through the fear of World War III, because it's gonna be a trend for moving forward since, and I know a lot of people are scared about it. A lot of young people are scared about it. And in this video I'm just gonna share you my tips because let me give you a bit of context. I got scared of it a lot. Ever since the Russia attacked Ukraine, that put a lot of that got me into my one of my earliest experience with panic attacks. I'm usually a mentally stable guy. And, I have a positive outlook in life. I was like in my early 20s when it happened, and after that event, I remember that the exact day that happened, I got like a panic attack, and I was out in San Francisco, just doing a bit of travel, and I thought I was gonna die, but I I realized it's just panic attack like weeks after or months after, and it's all because of that event. And it's not really just a one-time event thing. It happened multiple times, and as the years goes on, news of World War III always happens. And every time I see the headlines, the TikTok videos, the people posting, talking about it, it sucks the life out of me. It puts me in a state of fear and anxiety and powerlessness, and I don't really like it. I I like to spend my day productively, but reading those headlines scares the crap out of me. And but over time I was able to overcome it, and I'm gonna share you in this video now. Now, for some more introduction, I'm not into politics, I'm not into history. I'm just a normal guy who experienced like fears from watching news and stuff like that, and I was able to overcome most of it. So even if maybe in the future it comes up again, the headlines of World War III, I'll I already have like a lot of experience managing my emotions about it, that I'll be like 60% less scared than I was back in 2022. So here are like the five mindsets that help me get over it, and hopefully it will help you too. This is a message to younger people. So let's begin. The first mindset is that I kind of learned and realized that most of my fear was irrational. And irrational means like it's out of logic. It's not based on logic or facts. It's just really me reacting to it. And a lot of it is not being really educated about, not seeing the bigger picture of the wars and the history. And what helped me with that, to overcome the fear of World War III, the news of headlines, is that learning a little bit more about history. Now, you don't really have to be like full on history. I don't know, whatever you're interested in life, but just learning a little bit about it, the context, and why wars happen, stuff like that, would really lower your reaction to such headlines. And that's what helped me, just learning a little bit about it, just why it happens, the history. It's not really, and basically become more rational. It will help you become more rational. Like, it's not just, before I used to think, oh, just because this country started a war, they're planning to take over, they're so evil. It's not really like that. It's much more complicated. And that's what learning a bit about more history and the nature of war will get you into. The second mindset, or kind of experience tip that I have for you, is that most news are bullshit. Okay, they scare you. They use the scariest headlines just to get your attention. And the reason why they get attention, they want your attention, is that that's how they make money. That's how they people get their living from, just, the currency of attention. So they would use the most negative, and humans naturally react to negative things and danger. Okay, that's why whenever you go to when you're stuck in a traffic and there's accidents, people people usually stop and see it, because we couldn't really ignore it. It's just part of our nature. And same thing with that's why same thing with the news. The news would always use the negative words to scare the crap out of you, because that's how they get your attention. Because if they don't get your attention, they lose money. And but it's still important to read the news, but just knowing that most of it are bullshit, helps, at least help me kind of like be more rational with when consuming news about World War III. And the other thing I have for that, for about the news, is that TikTok is the worst place you get your news from. Okay, most of the posts on TikTok are just like teens and younger people just like projecting their fears. Especially when I remember back in June, people are just posting about World War III, and that sucked the life out of me. But like few hours later, I just realized it's mostly teenagers kind of like projecting their fears. And the thing about teenagers, and a part of it too, is that they don't really know a lot about the world. Okay, they're irrational, and they just like to react. They don't really have the bigger picture thinking. So try not to get your news from TikTok, and try not to consume too much news. Try to be aware that most of the news are bullshit. The third mindset that I had that helped me get through the fear of World War III is believing that humans can also do great things. Okay, we humans are capable of doing the worst things. Okay, but we can also do great things. I remember there's this quote from Batman versus Superman towards the ending, where Bruce Wayne, I think after he didn't kill Superman, but after Superman died or something like that, he's saying like, men are still good, men are capable of doing the bad things, but also men are capable of doing the good things, rebuild after destruction. And that quote, really, I kind of live by to that quote. Like, yeah, you see a lot of like madness in TV and social media and stuff like that all the time, but most people are just ignoring about the great things that humans are doing, especially the protests right now are going on around the world. That's like one of the great things that humans can do, are and capable of, is like standing up to government corruptions. That's what kind of gives me hope. And just knowing that humans can do, accomplish great things, rebuild after destruction, gives me hope that even it's if it were to happen, World War III is to happen, we can rebuild as humans, like to greater things. We can do so much better. And you can kind of see it with the post-war in Germany. Germany is like one of the peaceful countries right now, I think. Same thing with Japan. Japan used to be a ruthless country during World War II, and after they got the atomic bomb, they're a more peaceful country, and they were like, a lot of people want to visit there now because of a lot of great things they've done. So believing in the power that people can still do great things despite of being bad, can help me a lot, and I know it will help you too. The other fourth thing that helped me is that it could the war could still happen, but it's not really gonna be the way we expect it to be. It's not gonna be like the same as World War II, World War I, or the Cold War. It's just gonna be different. Um, I remember there's a quote by Mark Manson, one of the like a personal development author. He said, we humans tend to overestimate or overthink think about worst case scenarios, but the thing is, it rarely happens. And same thing with the best case scenarios. Like we overthink or think that best case scenarios will happen, worst case scenarios will happen, and it rarely happens. Okay, it's usually just like in the middle ground. And I think it's the same thing with people projecting their fears, whatever will happen with World War III. We think about the worst case scenarios, like everyone will die and this and that. But I don't think that's gonna be like what's gonna happen exactly. Is gonna happen if you're also scared about getting drafted to the war. Maybe it's not really gonna be that. Um, it's not gonna be that bad. Well, it's still gonna be bad, but like not the way we think it is. It's just gonna be different. Anyways, moving on to my next point is that you have to understand the bigger picture of war. Okay, to me, at least from my understanding, which is just the tip of the iceberg, it's like wars are like our bodies going through a puberty. Like things have to get destroyed first, and our bones do that too, in order to rebuild to develop something better. Okay, the old ways have to get destroyed in order for new and better things to develop. And wars are somewhat similar to that. Like some nations or whatever you call it or whatever have to get destroyed in order for something new to come up. And that kind of happened with Japan, at least from my understanding. After they got atomic bomb, they just kind of became a better country. They used to be like a country that tries to savage a savage country that tries to, you know, attack other countries. Now they're like one of the peaceful and good-looking countries, modern countries. And same thing with our bodies, or even with you can even compare with muscles. Like when you work out, you're literally destroying your muscles, but then it rebuilds into something better. Same thing with wars, but wars are just like a national decades kind of thing. Like it just things the old ways getting destroyed in order for things to rebuild. And I think, from my perspective, from my understanding, limited understanding of the world, is that we are kind of on that stage right now. Like things are getting destroyed, especially with the corruptions happening around the world, with Nepal, Philippines. You know, the the old systems are getting destroyed, and I even though it's dirty, there's gonna be violence, deadly, people will die. But I believe that the new systems that are getting developed will be much better than the old ones that got destroyed. So same thing could happen with World War III. All things getting destroyed, all systems getting destroyed, and then we get a new world system, new world order. The last thing that helped me a lot is becoming more spiritual, becoming closer to God. I was far away from God before all of this happened, and it was until like experiencing fear, and like feeling hopeless and all that stuff. uh it got me closer to God, and it's a process of like, it's a long process. I was before the Russia and Ukraine situation. I was kind of like agnostic. I didn't really believe in God. But then, like after experiencing the panic attacks in 2022, I just kind of did a research about God and stuff like that, and I prayed. And over time, I kind of felt His presence. I don't know, it's a personal thing. Like I felt more at peace, and I don't know, it's a hard thing to explain, but you'll just feel at peace when you pray at God. And you can really just start by, just kind of praying, like praying. I don't doesn't I'm not sure about if it doesn't matter about what kind of God you pray to, but just the act of grateful for things. Start with that. Just be thankful to the universe. I guess you can do that too. It'll kind of bring you peace that you're gonna be fine. So those are what helped me. So just understanding that most of our fears, especially if you're young, are irrational, and you just need to get more educated with a bit of history and the nature of war, learn about more of that. The second mindset that you can get from this video is that most news are bullshit. They're just trying to get your attention because that's how their business works. Third is believe that humans can do greater things despite, destroying ourselves with freaking nukes and stuff like that, killing ourselves, killing each other. But we can also do great things. But the thing is also is that it's rarely reported on the news, and that the good things that we do, just gonna have to look for it. It's there, and you can kind of see it with a protest. That's a good thing because people are just standing up to corruptions, the devil, and yeah. So the fourth thing that I talked about is it could still happen, but it's not really the way we expect it to happen it to be. Like we tend to expect the worst case scenarios, but it rarely happen. And the same thing with the best case scenario. It's just gonna be in the middle ground. And fifth thing is you gotta understand the bigger picture of war. Again, it's just, to me at least from my perspective, is that it's just the destruction of old ways in order for the new ways to develop. Even though it's gonna be dirty, it's gonna be violent, but it's just gonna lead to something good. Depending, it's just gonna lead to something good. And then the sixth thing that helped me a lot is becoming closer to God. So anyways, my final advice for you is that see this as opportunity to wake up, to grow up, be fearless, learn to be fearless if you're really scared of this, and become the better version of you. And luckily, I made more videos about becoming a better version of you. So if you're interested, go check them out. And you know, just try to focus on what you can control. Really, we can't really control whatever the government does or whatever what happens to us. But we just try to do our best. And I just remember this quote from after watching Superman. Like you know, we just kind of do our best despite not knowing what to do, and that's really good enough. Help each other out, be nice to each other, even though again this will not really prevent the war. I think the end goal of this video that I hope you do is like be less reactive to it. So even if you maybe tomorrow you read the news that it officially has begun, you won't really be as reactive to it. You don't really experience much fear and a lot of emotions about it. So, anyways, that's my video. Hopefully, it helps, and see you.